Hello, I'm Mary Kurzweil with this week's Closing Bell, brought to you by CattleFax, the deciding factor. The January protein trade data was released this week, and it showed that global beef demand has remained very strong, with the highest January beef exports on record. Beef exports were up by 42 million pounds, or 17% compared to last year. South Korea was a big part of this increase, posting their second largest month for U.S. beef exports. China was the other main driver, holding its position as our third largest beef destination and importing more than double the amount of beef compared to last year. Exports to Mexico and Canada were lackluster, and Japan exports were mostly steady, but overall January beef exports were very strong, especially when considering reduced January production because of Omicron slowdowns. Beef imports were also elevated, up by 57% or 127 million pounds. China's ban on Brazilian beef, which has now been lifted, was a large part of this increase, as the U.S. imported 84 million more pounds from Brazil. Reduced slaughter and production through January and strong domestic lean trim prices were also supportive to imports, and imports from nearly every major supplier were higher. Slaughter over the last month or so improved, but elevated lean trimmings and decreased select and lower beef production could keep imports at higher levels going forward. Other January protein exports were lower, with pork down 15.8%, broiler exports down 10.1%, and turkey down 4.2%. The newest WASDE report was also released this week. It showed moderate changes, decreasing the U.S. corn supply by 100 million bushels on increased exports and ethanol use. Soybean exports expectations also increased by 40 million bushels, while wheat saw very little change. Overall, this brought corn stocks to use down by 0.8% and soybeans down by 1%. In this week's markets, moderate to active fed cattle cash trade occurred in the north at mainly 138 to 140 live and 218 to 222 dressed, which was mostly $2 to $3 lower than last week. Light to moderate volumes were traded in the south at mainly 138, $2 softer than last week. The CME feeder cattle index has continued to decline, moving more than $3 lower this week to the lowest that it's been since October. Thanks for watching, and remember to visit CattleFax.com to become a member and receive the latest market news and analysis.